Traveling this bending road is always an adventure, and I'm glad we can do it together. It's easier together because no matter where we go in life, two things are for certain. One, you will eventually come to a bend in your road, and two, God will always see you through. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and click the subscribe button so that you know when I upload my next video. In this way, we travel together and we encourage each other along the way. Hey, welcome back to the Bending Road. Glad you're here with me this morning. It's kind of a gloomy day out there and cold, but I'm hoping it's going to rain. Boy, we need some rain around here, and really been looking for it. We had some last week, but it wasn't enough, and wells are dry, and I kind of thinking about those dry wells, and I'm feeling a bit dry after all the election and all the controversial stuff we've been hearing, and people are fighting on Facebook, and I have friends who are frankly being downright rude about each other and comments that are made, and I'm feeling a little dry from all that. And I got to thinking about what we listen to along this bending road, and today more than ever with social media, boy, we have opportunities to say things to people that we've never had before. Used to be you just kind of grumbled in your own house and together, and then you laughed about it and you moved on, but you didn't say those things out loud. You certainly didn't say them in public, and you didn't say them to someone's face. But boy, today, all bets are off, and people are talking and listening to things that they never did before. So what is it that what is it that we're saying? What is it that we're listening to along this bending road? And I looked at some proverbs. I just wondered what some proverbs say. I always like a good proverb. And Proverbs 17:4 says, "A wicked person listens to deceitful lips, and a liar pays attention to a destructive tongue." And it got me thinking that, we kind of listen to what resonates with us. The wicked listens to the deceitful, the liar listens to the destructive tongue. We listen to what resonates with us, but sometimes I don't think we can always tell. So Proverbs 10:19-21 says, "Sin is not ended by multiplying words." You can't talk your way out of this, right? "But the prudent hold their tongues." Better to remain silent and let people wonder a bit. "The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value. And the lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for a lack of sense." And then Proverbs 16:10, "The lips of a king speak as an oracle, and his mouth does not betray justice." There was a time when I think we listened to maybe we'll say the kings and the priests and the higher up, and we got our wisdom from them. But boy, these days we'll listen to just about anybody and get our wisdom from whatever sounds good, right? We listen to what resonates with us, the liar, the deceitful, right? And then I read this: "Eloquent lips are unsuited for godless fools. How much worse lying lips to a ruler," right? Eloquent, fluent, speaks well. Eloquent lips are unsuited for a godless fool. They may be unsuited for a godless fool, but I think there's a lot of godless fools speaking with eloquent lips. I think we really need to be careful. I think this is getting more and more to that point. Proverbs 17:27-28 says, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint." We're careful with our words. "And whoever has understanding is even-tempered," right? Our words don't just flare up and get all, wild and crazy. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. So if we're careful, if we're quiet, we're not readily seen as a fool. But people are quick to talk these days. I'm really amazed at some of the things that I've heard over the last few weeks, and things that are said as wisdom, right? In the news, and you think you can trust the news, you can think you can listen to the news, and that's all truth, but got to be careful. And then we listen to podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but they're not always wise. I think we need to be careful. Eloquence. Eloquence is an interesting word. From Webster, it says eloquence is discourse marked by force and persuasiveness. It's also the art or power of using such discourse. It's the quality of a forceful or persuasive language, expressiveness. So when we're eloquent, we can speak in a way that convinces others of things. It's forceful. And I listen to a lot of rhetoric today. I listen to a lot of what we think is doctrine today. And it's pointing us to lies. And I think we need to be careful here. And I don't even want you to listen to me without checking what I'm saying. Go to the scripture verses that I talk about and see if they resonate with you. If it means what it says, what I'm saying it says. Because I think we really need to be super careful. When you listen to a preacher on Sunday, whether it's me or any other preacher, make note of what you're hearing. Double check it. Test it. Does it seem right? Spend some time in prayer over it. Look those scriptures up. See if it says what it really says. Because I think there's so much in this world that sounds good, but it's not good. When we say love is love, when we say love everyone, love is kind. Love doesn't lie. Love is honest. It's uplifting. But love doesn't say that everything you do is right and everything you think and feel is appropriate. No, love is honest. When we say love everyone, that's true. We're to love everyone. But if behind that love and everyone, there is hateful speech against those who may be voted differently than us, that's not truth. That's not loving everyone. We need to be really careful on how we do this, right? We need to speak truth. We need to speak truth in love, but we need to be careful how we do that. And there's so many other things. And I think the key here is just to be careful what we listen to. And sometimes it's not just listen to those with whom you agree, right? We need to listen to some opposing commentary and be able to say, okay, this is what you said, but this is why I disagree with it. This is why, not in anger, but in speaking to your own heart. Look for those scriptures. How does this not align with scripture? So a while back, it was recommended to me a book by Blaise Pascal, and it's called, and I won't say this right, but it's like pensée. It's in French, pensée, and it means thoughts or reflections. And there's just a variety of these thoughts and reflections. And some are interesting because they're truth. They're like reading Proverbs. They're truth, but we don't always see them play out. Anyway, he was talking about eloquence in number 15 and 16, and he says, eloquence which persuades by sweetness, not authority, as a tyrant, not a king. And as I listen to some of the, I'm just going to say progressive rhetoric, some of the liberal rhetoric, I hear persuasiveness by sweetness. It's speaking in the form of love, but it's more as a tyrant. You better do this, or you're the evil one. You better align to this, or you're going to come under fire. You're going to be canceled. You're the evil one. And he goes on to say, eloquence is an art of saying things in such a way that those to whom we speak may listen to them without pain or pleasure. Some of the rhetoric today is said in a way that it sounds good, it even feels good, but when you dig deep, like my body, my choice, well, that sounds right. Yeah, it sounds right, but they're not speaking in matters of abortion and IVF. We're not speaking about our bodies. We're speaking of the lives of babies. It may sound good, may resonate, may be easy to listen to, but it's not truth. And he goes on and says, eloquence is the art of saying things that they feel themselves interested in, so that self-love leads more to a willing reflection upon it. So what he's saying is it feels good, and it makes us feel good in a way that we want to spend more time with it. When in times we should cancel it and say, no, that's not true, and here's why. Always make sure, can you say here's why? And there's good things to help us do that. There's what would you say videos from the Colson Center. Excellent videos. There's scriptures that we can find. There's podcasts that we can find that help us be able to say, this is why this is not truth. The Breakpoint commentary every morning. Boy, they really lay it out and give us ways to speak to that. And you may not be able to spill it all back, but if you listen to them every morning, you begin to be able to say, this is not true and this is why. He goes on to talk more, but I think we need to be careful of a couple of things today. And this is what I'm saying to my own heart. One, be careful what you listen to. And if it feels good, if it just simply feels good, make note of that and be cautious. If it's a little tough and the scripture's calling us to something more, then maybe we need to delve a little deeper in that. So be careful what you listen to. Two is, if you're going to say that's wrong, make sure you can say why that's wrong. And if you can't, and if it's something big, if you're talking about the color of the sky today, I wouldn't worry so much about that. But if you're talking about why sex before marriage is a problem, if you're talking about why divorce is a problem, if you're talking about all of the evils of this world and why they are the problem with society today, but we're not talking about why fathers are leaving the homes and why fathers are not a part of the children's family. If we're not talking about that, we need to know why these things are important. Find ways to do that. And if you have a question that's come up and you don't know how to respond to it, if you put that in the comments, I will go digging. I will go digging. Or maybe I'll explain, maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe that's not something we need to fight about, and this is why. I will do my best to do that and find some resources for you. So be careful of what you listen to. Be careful about how you argue back. Make sure you can argue back as to why you stand on what you believe is true. And then third is, be careful what you say. Think before you speak. And that's so hard to do. Think before you speak. Make sure you know you have facts to back that up. And facts to stand on the scripture, the good news, family values, things that support children. So often we say, the children will be okay. Well, you know what? We're proving after a long stint with divorce and fathers not in the home, single parent families, and parents that, children that are being taken away from their families and given to others to raise. Children are not so okay. They're not so okay. Have you thought about that? Have you looked into that? Yeah, lots going on. I have some books that I would love to promote. Katie Faust and her book, Pro-Child Politics. I heard her on a podcast the other day, and wow, did she open my eyes to some truth that we need to be paying attention to. Don't fall for the long-winded eloquence speech these days. Be careful. Be careful what you listen to. Be careful. Make sure you can respond well. And be careful of your own tongue. Be careful of what you say. That's my takeaway for this week. I want to be careful. I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. You have a good week, and I'll see you next week along the bending road. Thank you for watching, and thank you for working together along this journey. Connect with me on social media or on my website at bendingroad.weebly.com. Let me know how I can pray for you as you navigate the bend in your road. I pray that when you see the bend in your road, you will not be afraid, but will take the hand of God and keep walking. You are not alone.